So I talked about slave reparations before, right? About how stupid it is to expect to pay people for shit that never even happened to them. My mammy was a slave. It wasn't even your mammy. It was your mammy's, right? Because these black people, they have kids real young, so yeah, lots of generations. How many? I don't know. Mammies. Mammy was a slave. Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, so you deserve some free money. Yeah. Doesn't make any sense. I've never understood why people don't understand that creating wealth is a skill and it requires very specific criteria within a person to do. I don't get it. I mean, it's a skill to paint, right? I can't paint. I mean, if I tried to paint, I don't know what the hell it would look like, but it wouldn't look like anything you would recognize. It really wouldn't. So I don't get it. Why is it that people think that the skill, the ability to create wealth is any different than that? There's just not a lot of people out there that can do that. But I want wealth. Everybody wants wealth. Oh, well. Not everybody wants to paint, though. Oh, I see. I don't know how they think giving a bunch of money to a bunch of poor people is going to help. I mean, these people, what do you do with money? You used it to improve your situation by improving yourself, right? Black people get plenty of money. They get plenty of loans, government-guaranteed loans to go get higher education. What do they do with it? They study TV. Not TV repair even, which would actually maybe be useful, although these days you don't need that anymore because all the TVs now are these LED, high resolution, little tiny flat screens, and once they, they last for a long fucking time. When they burn out, you buy a new one. No more vacuum tubes, right? You're not repairing them anymore. So, but even at least that would be useful. Or that would have been useful 40 years ago, right? But of course now TV, like TV watching. Oh, how the hell that's a fucking subject? Gonna sit around and discuss how fucking stupid Homer Simpson is all day. Good God. But they don't study anything useful. And so how in the world is giving people with poor judgment and a lack of ability to create wealth going to help them create wealth? I don't understand. It's like giving a fucking toddler a bunch of fucking paints and brushes and say, paint me a fucking Rembrandt. Paint me the best piece of art on earth. Baby's going to be like, gonna paint himself. Give me a break. All right. So Georgetown University could become the first college in the nation to mandate a fee to benefit descendants of slaves sold by the university nearly 200 years ago. Ay caramba! A debate that takes place against the backdrop of a broader political conversation unfolding on the 2020 presidential campaign trail about reparations. You know what this reparation stuff is? You know what I say? I say do it! Do it! Pay them the reparations. Why not tack another $1 trillion onto our debt? We're already in debt, what, 23 trillion? What's another fucking trillion? Hopefully this will teach people a broader lesson, not only about this reparations bullshit, but about socialism in general. Because just handing people free fucking money to improve their life that you've stolen from other people is the essence of socialism. Go ahead. Okay, now I've changed my tune. I want them to pay the reparations. Do it. Do it. See how little fucking good it does. It'll do nothing. In fact, it'll harm these people. I want you to do it. Go ahead. Well, none of these idiots that are advocating for this will get elected because there's still enough, reasonable people in America that they wouldn't vote for anybody that would advocate for this. Now, the black people will advocate for this, right? They've gotten used to getting free shit. And the Latinos, too, because they like anybody that votes for something socialist, despite what Ben Shapiro says about, I don't care about the browning of America. I care about ideology. He doesn't seem to realize that, the race is closely linked to idiot ideology. He's too stupid to get that. People talking about how smart that Ben Shapiro is because he learned to play the violin. He was playing the violin at a very early age, and he played Schindler's List on a video. He's a prodigy. Why? Because we say so. He's a manufactured fucking shill. He's a manufactured shill. That's all he is. He's been pushed by the right since he was very young. He's no different than that David fucking Hogg, except a little smarter, okay? But not all that much. He's just a weaponized child. He was a weaponized child. He was writing shit when he was a fucking teenager and getting it published in conservative fucking publications. He's just a slightly more intelligent David Hogg. He's a shill of the conservative right, and they're not even conservatives, really. But they call themselves that, so people who are conservatives or who have a sympathy for conservatism or conservative leanings will listen to him, and then he tells them to do things that are against their best interest, essentially. And they listen because he's a conservative prodigy. Fuck off. Okay, the fucking caffeine's starting to get going. Okay. Mandate a fee. Okay. I want this to happen. Trump, pass reparations. Right, yeah. We don't want to build a wall, but we want to give $1 trillion to black people. Why? Because they're 13% of the population, and we want to keep them voting Democrat, right? That's all. You won't see any Republicans endorsing this. If you do, they're rhinos. They're not real Republicans. Yeah, so by almost a 2-to-1 margin, students approved the measure. Of course, they've been brainwashed, which still must be approved by the university to go into effect. It's mandated. Mandated? You know, I would have a problem with it if it was voluntary, but at least that would be something. I mean, okay, voluntarism, fine, but mandating it? No. If I were Trump, I would take away their federal funding. That's what I would do. You see how long they mandate this shit? $27 a student. Give me a break. Benefit descendants of slaves sold by the university. How many people can that be? What if some of those people, I find it so interesting, what if some of those people who are related, who are direct descendants of people who were sold by this university 200 years ago, what if some of those people are doctors and lawyers and shit? What if they're really successful? Do they get some of the money then too? Even if they're successful, which disproves this whole bullshit narrative about systematic oppression that requires these people to get free money, which won't help them anyway, but it'll only harm them. Yeah. So the school's undergraduates voted Thursday on the referendum, which would increase tuition by $27.20 per semester to create a fund benefiting descendants of... because, they need help. Because black people are so poor and so pathetic, they need your fucking help, which is essentially what you're saying when you advocate for this kind of program. Benefit the descendants of 272 slaves sold to pay off the Georgetown Jesuits' debt, a move that saved the university financially. 272 slaves? Are you kidding me? That's it? You people are moaning and groaning and wringing your fucking hands and losing sleep for 272 fucking people who have been dead 200 years? Serenity now. Serenity now. Oh my God. The results of the referendum are as follows: 66% for yes, 33% for no. Okay. Todd Olson, Vice President for Student Affairs, in a statement issued after the vote, lauded the students' efforts, saying the university values the engagement of our students and appreciates that 3,845 students made their voices heard in yesterday's election. Our students are contributing to an important national conversation, and we share the commitment to addressing Georgetown's history with slavery. History. Why don't we just go dig up the bones of the fucking Trojans, okay? And why don't we do some DNA tests, right? And run them through these fucking ancestry archives online and make the Greeks reimburse the Trojans. Because, they killed all the fucking Trojans. They genocided them, right? And took what remaining survivors there were as slaves. We need to make things right. Trojan reparations. What is this nonsense? Oh, that's too long ago. Well, wait a second. If that's too long ago, well, what is too long ago then? Well, 200 years isn't too long ago, but 2,000 is too long. By the way, Trojan War with the Greeks was longer than 2,500 years ago. But I think maybe you're getting my point here. What is the exact cutoff date? When do we stop being responsible for other people's shit? And see, this is how socialists think. They think collectively, okay? Socialism is all about collective thinking and as well about collective guilt. So it doesn't matter that these people have been dead for hundreds of years, the ones that owned and sold these slaves. Those who are directly descended from them are part of those people's collective, and hence they must reimburse the other people who are part of the collective of the oppressed. That supposedly I, as a white man, Was the oppressor of. Yeah, okay. The university has vowed to carefully review the results of the referendum, and regardless of the outcome, will remain committed to engaging with students, descendants, and the broader Georgetown community and addressing its historical relationship to slavery. Why? Why? Address the present. The past doesn't exist, you idiot. Matt Hill, the university's media relations manager, told ABC News in a statement. This is one of the reasons so many people are unhappy and depressed. They're living in different times. In a lot of ways, this is why poor people who have so much work, they don't get depressed. They don't have time. Depression is a luxury for the wealthy and the well-off, it seems. Even the poorest American is better off than fucking 90% of the rest of the world. What's poor in America is rich practically everywhere else, and the poorest person in America, so long as they're not homeless, is living better than kings did 100 years ago. Yeah, really poor people who got to work 2 fucking jobs, they got no time to be depressed. They're focused on the now. They're not living in the past or the future, which don't exist. Stop living in the past, black people. Maybe you'll get your shit together. Yeah, the Jesuits sold my family and 40 others, says some black girl. Okay, so what? Ah, yeah, now you get to use that as an excuse to be a victim, right? Pathetic loser. Pathetic loser, says sophomore Melisande. Melisande? Weird name. Short Column. Oh, God. A Georgetown student said during a town hall to discuss the issue last week. How did you know? What did you do? What did you do? Did you put your fucking DNA into one of these ancestral fucking archives? So, you send it to one of these companies online and they process it and see if you have relatives. Yeah. Now you can cry racism. Now you can say that people have been racist toward you. You've been oppressed, even though you're at Georgetown University. Oh my God, this is so ridiculous. This is so stupid. Oh, boy. Oh, this is a long story. Long story. Got pictures of a lot of ugly mulattoes and black people who don't know what combs are and with their hair a foot deep. Just huge halo of hair around their head. Get a comb. Learn what a comb is. There's a reason you comb hair, okay? Combing hair, it redistributes oils from the root. It stimulates the release of more oils. Gets out crap, nits and lice and shit. You don't know what could be living in your hair. In that bird's nest. Wow, this thing is... I'm still scrolling down. All this time I've been talking, I'm scrolling. What the fuck? Are you kidding me? ABC News propaganda. Proper fucking ganda. How in the hell can you have 27 fucking pages? It's still going about reparations. Give me a break. The slaves are all dead that white people own. You want to help somebody in the here and now? Put that money into a general pot to buy slaves from Libya to free them. There's wonderful slave markets that were created by your heroes, you leftist scum. That being Obama and Hillary, who destroyed Libya and made it possible for the slave markets in Libya to open up anew. And you can go buy a black man for $300. Why don't you do that? Why don't you do something good with that money instead of giving it to some entitled cunt student at fucking Georgetown or some fucking black doctor? Some black doctor, okay? Who lives in $1 million home, but he's oppressed. Because one of his ancestors was a slave sold by Georgetown 200 years ago. Give me a break. Give me a break. Please. I think some of my ancestors were fucking poor potato farmers in Ireland on my fucking grandmother's side. Whoop-de-fucking-do. You're not bound to the fate of your ancestors. And you're not responsible for the sins of the father, okay? You make your own fate. There is no such thing as destiny. We have free will. I'm so tired of hearing about these bourgeois fucking intellectuals talking about fucking, we have no free will. There's no such thing as free will. Fuck you. Yes, we do. We have free will. We choose. You're responsible for your decisions, good or bad. But, socialists don't like that. having to be held accountable for our bad decisions. We don't like that. No. Because that's saying it's not systematic oppression and racism and oppression that caused us to be losers. It's ourselves, which is the case. I'm sorry to say. Well, I'm not sorry to say it.